Hello, and this is Rocket League, and I am the expert layman. OBS screwing with me again. Something new. You hit the start streaming button, and nothing happens. And then you hit it again, and nothing happens. And then you restart it, and nothing happens. And then you restart your computer, and start again, and then it finally works. But then YouTube says, oh, your screen's great, but then for like a minute and a half, the start stream button doesn't show up. It's like, nope, you're doing great, we're just not letting you start. I'm like, what now? Oh, stuff people don't care about. The topic is the soloist mantra and the thrower divide. At what point is someone playing so selfishly that they're essentially functioning as a thrower? And I kind of have I get into the game here. Just doing casual today. It's not 2 in the morning. Let me take a listen to my stream here, which doesn't actually seem to be going. Okay, cool. Yeah, streaming with the sun out. That's strange for me. But yeah, I wanted to find the soloist because there's a lot of dimensions people can basically be toxic in, and this is the sad one because the soloist is essentially somebody who became so bitter and jaded by the toxicity that they've given up on ever trusting other people. Okay, the soloist mantra, the first part of that is never do anything that might benefit a teammate. Which is why sometimes you're playing with people, it's like you're trying to clear the ball and like they're like losing 90% of their 50-50s trying to clear the ball. And the reason is that they refuse to give up possession of the ball. Because if you just try to clear it out of the key, clear the zone, that'll often it's more likely to benefit one of your teammates than you. So they try to dribble it out every time. And that's why you'll see somebody pull off like a freaking champion like move at the other end trying to score, and then suddenly they get on their own end and they're playing silver. And it's because they see a different world. Like you see, and this is true in reality in general, is you will see the things that you're predisposed to notice. And the things you notice are the things that you have unconsciously decided are the most relevant. So yeah. Oh, and he just jumped in front of his teammate. And basically, yeah, the centers for the other team happen a lot. Because the center for the other team, it seems like throwing, but what it does is forcing your teammate into a weakened position will make it hard for him to keep from benefiting you if you're assuming he's like you, and of course they do, because when we unconsciously process things, we don't have like a good theory of mind for how other people think. We end up just assuming everybody thinks like us, and if we happen to be screwed up in a particular way, we like to think everybody else is. Ooh, that was a nice pass. I gotta give him my bad on that, because that seemed very intentional. But it's like, and then you'll see the thing where everybody's just kind of like loitering around the goal, banking, you know, not like betting on the fact that the other team's going to miss, even if, you know, that's not very likely, because going up to the defend, well, that's going to put you in a weakened position to where you're not going to be able to try to steal the ball from your teammates. Like, you might actually inadvertently benefit them with good defense. Because it's about, in a lot of ways, it's about sacrifice. I'm willing to do something that doesn't benefit me and might even make me look a little stupid for the good of the team. This is why passing is just so effective. It's because people literally don't expect it. Like, they're so used to toxicity that when somebody's in casual with a bunch of randos and they like start throwing up passes, like, what is this? I mean, the guy's a little eager, but I don't know if I'd put him in the soloist camp. But it is really sad because they had that experience that everybody's had, where it feels like everybody's trying to drag you down, and all your trust is like so often like violated by people who are more than happy to soak up the benefit of your cooperative play but reciprocate nothing. And a lot of people just become so cynical that they can't even see the save that they might be able to make because they assume everybody's like them, and they're just waiting. Like, there's no personal benefit to preventing a goal if you can't, if it benefits your teammate, if you're in the soloist mindset. And some people will get drawn into it, and some people will have it so highly honed that it's like, it's almost impossible to believe that it's not like a deliberate strategy, but a lot of times it isn't, because your play style, your unconscious mind knows what it is that you actually want, independent of the story you might be telling yourself. Oh, that was classy. If you're just wanting... It's... The other part of the soloist mantra is every game is a 5v1 with 2 primary opponents and 3 ancillary opponents, the other team. Like, the main thing is, well, it's often 2 strategies that diverge shortly into the game. A lot of times they will come in like just over the top, balls out, trying to do something awesome so they can establish their team dominance early. And then if that goes sideways, a lot of times they'll just leave because it's like, well, I don't want to be in this weakened position. I'm gonna go screw up somebody else's game, and they just go ding 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 down through games. It's basically like walking into a casino and betting on black, and then just grabbing your money and running back out again and running into another casino and just doing that over and over again. And eventually you're like, you're gonna win eventually, and then you get to act like, oh, that's just the way it is. That's how I am, and that's for like personal story. Personal narrative validation. Let me just check something real quick here. Cool. Cool. I don't know, this last update with Windows is ticking me off because it's caught. I try to keep my system incredibly stable. I don't push my hardware very hard, and I don't put a lot on here that could cause instability. Like, for some reason, VLC has this weird interaction with Premiere on my system, so I don't even run it, even though VLC is a lot better. I still, for a lot of stuff, I still use Media Player Classic, which hasn't seen an update in like 6 years, but it still does good with most stuff. But some 4K video, it doesn't decode it quite right. I just like a simple player. The Soloist mantra. Okay, how to spot them. That'll be good. The other thing that they will do, and it is very similar to a more deliberate toxic maneuver, but in this case it's just, I don't know, a lot of ambiguity. People will fake their teammates. They will, like, when you and a teammate both have something of a chance at the same ball, and then you are in their field of view, and then you turn like you're going to go for the ball, and they're a cooperative person, and especially if you're just a little bit closer, they'll be like, okay, you got this. But what a lot of soloists do, and, toxic people too, although for different reasons. Sorry. But it's got a text. I hope you didn't hear that. Lost my train of thought entirely. This is a much faster paced game. Taking a few more clock cycles. Yeah, I'm not... Excuse me, I'm not muting my mic anymore. That was not good. Oh. Oh, where they will basically fake you out like they're going for the ball and then just veer off. And then the other team just gets like a free unchallenged shot from a good location. And toxic people will do it just to like screw their teammates. But the soloist, it's more like, oh, nothing to be gained here. If I touch that ball, I can't benefit from it, and it might benefit a teammate. So they literally just peel off and like cycle back. And you'll see this a lot where they're just trying to get past the ball. Think of it like a game of war with cards, you know, where you each put a card down, and whoever has the higher card. Think of each individual, you know, battle in the game of war like a 50-50. And you don't want to run. And every time you put up a card, they cycle back. But like, each win gets you closer to the other person's goal. But if you have a card that just keeps losing all their 50-50s, it just keeps moving closer and closer to your goal. So what you'll see the people do a lot is they will make like the most weak pretense at like challenging the ball or making a run at it, but really they're just looking to drive by the ball so they can go back and get boost. Because there's the Soloist mantra, a lot of them will just do that thing where they just sit in the goal, won't contribute at all, won't try to help keep pressure to keep the ball at the other end. They will just, like they're a freaking Dragon Ball Z character with their arms crossed, waiting for you to be done for their turn to fight. Like, no, we do this together, you know? That was an unfortunate... These guys are a little aggressive. A little suppressive, but like it's all a spectrum. That's the thing. It's like, when we like to think about things, we like to put things into like these nice, neat categories and everybody belongs, but it's like, psychology is messy. People are messy. And even if somebody totally fit in a particular category at a particular time, that's just then. They might have been having a good day or a bad day, you know. We pick up the flavor of the people we were playing with, you know, regardless of how zen we might like to think we are. We all pick up the stink of toxicity. Because we're humans. We adapt to our environment. It would actually be a sign of someone unhealthy. Typically be a sign of someone who's unhealthy if they don't actually like adapt to their environment. You know, even if that environment is toxicity. I mean, there's some people that's just not a gear in their transmission. Like people like Sunless Khan, like his ineptitude at being toxic is one of the most adorable things out there. But for everybody else, oh, I can't believe he got that. But as usual, if you're having a bad experience in a game, you shouldn't be in that game. You are undermining your development. If you are upset, you are not only not learning well, what you are learning is how to be toxic from toxic people. It could also be that you're just in a bad mood or playing bad, but in those situations, you shouldn't be playing anyway. Like, is the game, are you at, okay, it depends on what you want. The game is just a rage dump for you. And that's not necessarily bad because, you know, there aren't many spaces for guys to, you know, young men to act like young men, even if the presentation is a little toxic. It's them trying to figure out, you know, how to be, and this isn't the best environment for that. That doesn't let people, like, resolve, I don't know. Any system that doesn't really give an opportunity for people to resolve their own disputes. I don't know. And a system where reputation, you can basically change your name and stuff, create new accounts. So without accountability and without the ability to resolve your own conflicts, it's not going to be a healthy system. And to blame the toxic participants, who are essentially the product of a system that wouldn't be profitable if they actually got rid of the toxicity. But it's one of those things where you can't really even get rid of it. It's always going to be there, but, we like to push things under the rug, push it out of sight and pretend that it's gone all the time. It's kind of like religious thinking. It's like, that is just the transmission that humans use for meaning. So it's really not going anywhere. So you just kind of need something that'll manage it well. And very few people would be at all interested in learning as much as you need to learn to understand this stuff. So people always always want to address some people just aren't smart enough to figure these things out for their own. And while that's true, there's a lot more people that are smart enough but just don't give a crap. And there's no reason to make a distinction between those groups because they are the majority. I think okay, I've got another tinfoil hat theory about Rocket League. Because I've been noticing this for a long time, and I joke about it on almost every stream. The game is full of so many, you're constantly seeing toxic people. I suspect that there's something in the game that doesn't match you up with the toxic people if it detects that you're streaming. It's like, okay, take him off the bad kids table, he's streaming. I should do some more tests. Just turn on my streaming software even though I'm not streaming and then just see if it makes a difference. Kind of my bad. Well, I'd like to criticize that guy for jumping order, but I was kind of... Well, I mean, if you're just trying to slow their drive down to give your teammates time to set up, that's a little bit different than jumping order. I can't believe I touched that. I was sure I was going to miss. Well, at least I missed that one. Aw, that would have made a nice little replay. That's like the ultimate form of the, of both the Soloist and the Toxic Thrower, is they will refuse to receive passes. You will set them up a pass, and this is actually one of my favorite things in the game to do, is somebody who's definitely a Soloist or throwing or something along those lines. And you've passed to them a couple of times, and they've either just driven right by it, or they'll make a flub attempt at it to make sure it doesn't go, because that gives you an assist, and it's also a form of cooperation that they've decided doesn't exist in the game. They honestly probably don't think the pass was intentional, to be honest, because they can't model that. Okay. I don't know. I'm sensing self-sabotage more than toxicity or Yeah, when the other team, you can tell a lot of the character of people. Like, it's really cool. Like, I'll usually stay even... Let me check my stream again. It's weird when it gives me a too high bitrate warning. I seem to be eating my mic. Ooh, a tournament, should I? Yeah, why not? Where they will not receive a pass. They will flub it. They will, but like I was saying, my favorite thing is when you can force someone who is refusing to accept passes to score a goal because, well, either you make it so they literally can't avoid it by hitting the ball into them in a way that there's nothing they can do about it. That one's nice, but a lot of times they're trying to hide on the more toxic end. They're trying to hide that. They're trying to flub it. So you can put them in a situation where it would just be way too obvious. Oh, come on, this is unfair. The 2-up, they're going to pinch it right in the corner. Like I said, the 4v1, unfair, is really good for, like, making you be careful, because you get punished for mistakes. You get punished for oh, come on, this is so unfair. Well, at least they didn't pinch it up in the corner. Wow, nice boost grab. And it seems you underestimate them, but they get a couple weird, like, oh god, don't score, don't score. See, the goal of this, oh yeah, I cut off the end of the stream where I was talking about this because I turned off my mic because I was coughing. But this is my Master Roshi recommended weird training. The goal of this, and I kind of doubt anybody below Diamond could achieve this, and it sounds like ridiculous, but oh god, why did I do that? Because now they might get the 2-up and I might have an unblockable shot. Okay, the point is go 5 minutes, keep them at 0 for 5 minutes, which seems like it should be really easy. But sometimes there's just nothing you can do about it, and that's why you don't want to score. Because every time you score, you put yourself in a position where you might not be able to do anything about it. But make it 5 minutes without them scoring. You'll gain, you know, pick your anime where they teach someone to control their energy better. Like, this is that. You have to be careful, you have to think ahead, you have to be defensive. And in my case, you can't be wild. Particularly applies to me. Just push it into one of their corners, reset your defense. Their best strategy would be actually, you know, would be to hit it into their own goal. And then eventually they would just score on me on the kickoff. But they will do, like, nothing will happen for a while. And yeah, watch what... Usually they send one of their people back to, like, drain all your boosts. And, like, nothing will happen, and then they'll do, like, a pinch or a 3-car... Or, you know, 2 or 3 cars and the ball interact. And suddenly it's like a pinch heading at your goal, and there's nothing you can do about it. It's good for humility, too. I've made that mistake before. One more. Give it a bump. There we go. Oh, I could totally shoot that. But that would be dumb. Oh, this is a good way to just kill some time before tournament. Actually, I have the Adam and Sit stream coming up here shortly, and I watch every week. That's a blast. See that little bastard running around the back, clearing out all my boosts? Oh no! Okay, I thought I made it there for a second. Oh, bastard. That boost had spawned a little bit later. And the thing about the bots is, actually, it's kind of... One fun thing with this is, if you start learning how bots play, you realize that there's things they do that they're very, very consistent with. And then there are things that there aren't. But, like, certain basic shots at the goal, they are deadly accurate with. And you can actually play a decent game with bots as your teammate. And a lot of times, I actually have a couple of replays of this happening to where I'm just, like... I made another team rage quit because I was beating them with 2 bots. And it was like a pre-made team. You little bastards, psyching me out. But even a lot of times, just for fun, you know, teammates leave because, like, right at the beginning of that, the other team will basically like, fight over like who gets to like dunk on the guy stuck with bots. So like they will often like suddenly start turning on each other and not being careful, and that's the kind of thing you can exploit. And usually, even if the other team, like, if a team starts losing to a guy with bots, they'll usually get their shit together. They'll usually start working cooperatively. Like, okay, no, like you'll see cooperation between people where you would never expect it, because it's like, okay, I can't be getting owned by a guy and 2 bots. This just isn't happening. Oh no, 30 seconds left. I don't know if I'll have time. Yeah, I probably will have time. Oh, see. Now they get me. Maybe not. Boost over ball. I'll say it to me since I don't have teammates. I thought I could get that. Hey man, 4 minutes and 20. Hey, 420. I made 420. Let's see, I'll be joining this this here shortly anyway. Oh, I guess I can still... I guess I can't. Yeah, this 2.5 minutes. I'm sure they did it for a good reason, and I'm not actually advocating that they change it. It's just annoying. And the weird thing is, you'll get through round 1, and you'll get into round 2, and people will just, like, disappear after the game. And it's like, where did they go? It'll be like a minute and a half, and they're still not in. It's like, did you, like, restart your system after the first match? So, Lasting Scarab versus Scaly Scarab. Random generation at its best. Oh, wow, that might actually go in. That's how you start a freaking tournament. Wow. Dude already left. Uh-oh. That crossover is not... Wow. That's some silver level defense there. You see the whole kind of like swinging for the fences, haymaker kind of, rather than like a balance. It's just like, I'm going to sit back, coil up, and, well, he did say sorry, or one of them did. And that just driving it into the other team thing is weird. Oh, both my teammates were ahead of me for some reason. Okay. Pass back works a lot better when people aren't downfield. Yeah. When you have a one-person advantage, but you still can't seem to get anywhere. Yeah. Soloist. Well, maybe not. That wasn't necessarily a self-pass. I don't know, it's kind of hard to keep track of, like, which teammate is doing what. Yeah, but the fact that we aren't dominating, look at him sit in the corner. It's like, not going to play defense, they're just setting up for a solo run. Zero intentional passes, except that one that might have been. But once you know that they're never going to pass to you and that they're always going to solo it, yeah, look, that's the bogging down in front of the goal as like, as everybody's like, I'm not going, you go. I'm trying to think of a more primitive example with other mammals to where, oh, like the watering hole, you know, like, I'm not going to go down and drink. You go down and drink. I don't know. I'm going to get jacked by a freaking tiger. Well, you go first, you know, and it's that kind of, like, not me, somebody else kind of attitude. But it's like right in front of the goal, and they just park there. It's like, and they're just waiting for an opportunity to emerge, and when it doesn't, they only take action at that moment, and if that moment doesn't come, they pretty much just sit there. I mean, right at the end, they'll typically, like, make some kind of, like, fake, oh, look, I tried, kind of run at the ball. But this is actually the thing I was talking about with the bots. It's like the same thing to where people, they get the numerical advantage and suddenly they're like, every man for himself. It's like the only reason the other team is staying in this game is because my teammates have the 5v1 person or mentality right now, refusing to do anything to help anybody else, and eventually it all but wipes out your numerical advantage when people refuse to use the fact that they're on a team to beat the other team. I think I've been nice long enough. Yeah, this doesn't bode well for the tournament. If we're struggling with a one-person advantage in the first round, yeah. Oh yeah, I don't think I've actually done a tournament live, so that's new. We're almost certainly going to get eliminated here the next round. Because people, and that's like the worst thing to happen in a tournament is to get a scrub team for your first round. Because then like your teammates are all like, oh yeah, we bet, we're going to own this. And it's like, dude, they were sabotaging each other and handing us goals. Don't pat yourself on the back so hard you break your arm. Like, we didn't earn that. It was given to us. The next one we're probably going to have to earn. And then they'll come in like, yeah, we good, we bad. And then they run into a team that's not sabotaging each other. And suddenly it's like difficult to do anything. It's like, what's going on? And they'll like, a lot of times they'll unconsciously assume that, well, my teammates must be the problem because I haven't changed. It's like, well, the dynamic changed because you don't have one or two people on the other team like feeding you passes and undermining their teammates. Like, I know I say this almost like my mantra, but it's my opinion that the vast majority of games are decided by tribe toxic. Basically, the resentment of existence type people that are just here to ruin other people's day. Like, And then the people who are drawn into that, who aren't necessarily like that, but are currently manifesting that. And they will, cross teams, decide who's going to win the game by sabotaging it. Because the number of times where, like, I'll have teammates that are deliberately sabotaging, like, deliberate own goal level. And then, when I'm like, I'm not playing if you're going to do that, the Tribe Toxic will unify across teams, and people on the other team will take the side of the guy own goaling over the guy saying, please don't do that. And I really only see one good explanation. It's like they recognize themselves in that other person. That's mine. Yeah, these are cute when they, Does it just become a 2v2? Now, a lot of times people will, like, leave and then come back in, like, right as the game starts because they think it gives them some kind of tactical advantage. I don't do 2v2 very often, but... Well, since I'm playing diamonds, I can do 2v2 really well, but, like... And 2v2 if I'm playing with, like, a champion, like, that I just don't... My utility value is based on psychological prediction, and with fewer minds in the game, it's more about physics, which I'm weaker in. 2v2. Of course, I'm half expecting their teammate to just pop in here at any time. Wow. Somebody doesn't want to win. Oh, our teammate popped in. Huh. Epic pass. And a refusal to accept the pass, and he'll just, like, flub it. Also, I noticed, like, watching replays, there's this thing where, one way to keep yourself from seeing things that you don't want to see is to go off ball view. And you'll see that people do this. So, like, as soon as they start running back for their own goal, they will immediately go off of ball view. Yeah, I think they've crossed well into throwing at this point. And the guy's like, stop double committing, like... Let the projection theater begin. And he just passed it right to him and didn't even follow it up at all because he didn't plan on it. He's just like... The handoff to the other team. Like, usually people are more subtle when they do this. And he saved it for the other team because I had better than 50% chance. And the weird thing is with, why am I bothering to try to pass to people who won't accept them? Oh, wow. But that wasn't a pass to me. That was a self-pass I intercepted. See, he's mad. He's like, okay, wow. Like, even though it wasn't even a self-pass because he had no chance at it. He's literally mad that he tried to pass it to the other team and I intercepted it. Oh, but then later he went back and said, oh, nice shot. Like, realized he kind of let the mask slip a little too much. Whoops. And that whole, like, just... Well, maybe that was a pass. But when you just sit there and let the ball bounce in mid... Yeah, they're still... I know, the thing is like, you want to just kind of like lock them down as an individual thing. Okay, this person's cooperative, this person's toxic. But it's changing like all the time based on the game. And if you fail to notice that someone has gone from like toxic to cooperative, you're going to lose games you shouldn't have lost. Like, I'm starting to get the sense now that they're like, oh, this guy's not going to tolerate it, or something changed, or I don't know. Maybe they got a text from a girl they like, and suddenly they're in a good mood. You know, stuff always in motion is people's emotions. Yeah. And the shot selection a lot and how they approach the ball will tell you a lot about what their intentions are. Because if somebody approaches the ball in such a way that, yeah, that there is no possible positive outcome that could occur from the way they approach the ball, and they'll say, oh, sorry, I screwed up. It's like, what do you mean? A screw up is where you're trying to do one thing and something else happens. There was not... The way you chose to approach the ball, there was no good intention that went awry. What happened was exactly what was supposed to happen. Yeah, I think it's a strat some people think is genius right now, to where one of your team drops out and then like the other team gets overconfident. And then you have the other person like slip in later without them noticing, and it conveys this like advantage. And I don't know, there might have been a time where it did, but like it's one of those things where once enough people are doing it, it stops being effective. Yeah, I'm just having trouble keeping track of which teammate's doing what, and their play style is like changing. Kind of hard to keep up with. Yeah, this is... Yeah, see that was that even a serious attempt? And yeah, the swinging for the defenses versus a defense's approach will tell you a lot. Like, especially in front of your own goal. Like when someone is like taking the approach like it's an unchallenged shot, when it's clearly challenged and then it goes awry, like... And they'll like hold their shot when they don't need to, and it's very strange. It's like, okay, you have the shot, you're still staring at it. Why are you still staring at it? Oh, your window's closed. Okay, now somebody came along and took the ball from you. Like, why? What was it you thought you would gain by just sitting there for so long? Oh well, not as bad, not that bad, like, but basically when people are playing below their rank, that it's basically, if you're playing significantly below your skill level, you're being toxic. I'm sorry. That's just the way I look at it. Like, and this would never fly in the real world. Like, if you play basketball with your friends and you come out and you are just freaking missing the backboard with your shots and accidentally passing to the other team, like, your friends will be like, "What the fuck are you doing, dude?" It was like, "Oh, it was an accident." It's like, dude, you've done it like 6 times. Like, that stops being an accident after like 2. Like, what's going on? Well, I don't know, I was trying to... It's like, no, dude. It wouldn't fly in the real world. And I don't know, maybe that's the wrong thing to compare it to. But I think it's... If we're talking about negotiation between people towards a goal, especially like team sports competition, the real world interaction is the more real, I should say. Well, I have a stream that will be starting here in a little bit that I actually want to watch. So I am going to get out of here. I am the Expert Layman. You all have a great day.